and neighbouring manicured gardens, before moving to the next sash window that was littered with hollow husks of dead blue bottles. "Look over there. Can you see the church spire?" Rowan looked beyond Tom's pointed finger. The church's conical tower tapered towards the bare blue sky. "Look! Clapham Common!" Rowan pointed, directing Tom's gaze towards patches of grass that were exposed behind the houses on the opposite side of the street. "I didn't realise the house was so close to it." They followed the agent back downstairs to inspect the basement. It was surprisingly roomy and light, with lemon sunshine spilling in from windows set high in the walls. The glass frames were too high to see the front garden, but oblong strips of cyan sky filled the panes as street sounds filtered in through the loose casements. Occasionally, a disembodied passer-by walked past the house, the limited view from the basement revealing only their legs. Tom grinned. "This is perfect. I can even use one of these rooms as a dark room and expose some of my photographs the old-fashioned way. And there's so much storage space." Rowan knew that if any floor would hook his interest, it would be this one. She watched him stride from one basement room to the next, planning and imagining his new business. When he'd finished pacing and stroking the surprisingly dry walls, they trooped in single file, back up the narrow staircase to the hallway and back into the dining room. Tom ran his hand over a wooden fire surround, tracing his fingers along the carved swags and shells. He crossed the room and stopped against the double doors, looking out. "Can we go outside?" "Of course. It's unlocked," said the agent. They stepped outside into a small courtyard garden, the glare of the midday sun making them squint. Aircraft droned above them, leaving white streaks slashed across the sky, crisscrossing existing contrails. The courtyard was full of pots containing withered brown plants, from which a handful of delicate yellow flowers gasped for life. The pale flagstones were decorated with star-shaped fans of dandelion leaves, and at the far end of the modest enclosure stood a crumbling wall, garnished with an overgrown wisteria. Despite its unkempt state, it was full of promise. Rowan had loved everything about the house's ramshackle interior, and envisaged a happy future living in it with the man she loved. The atmosphere was one of serenity and calm. Their 4-year-old spaniel, Jet, would be safe in the enclosed courtyard and could run on the huge expanse of grass on the common. Rowan looked at Tom and saw a smile play on his lips and knew that he felt the same way. "What do you think?" He nodded slowly before answering. "Potential. Lots of potential." Rowan clasped her hands together as if in prayer. "Shall we?" "We should come back again on a dull day and have another look." "Tom, we're in the middle of an unprecedented heat wave. Forecasters are saying it could last for another fortnight. By the time a dull day comes around, we'll have missed the auction." The agent interrupted. "There is a lot of interest in this property." "See?" said Rowan. Tom leant forwards and whispered in her ear. She would say that, wouldn't she? He rubbed his thumb against his fingers to illustrate that there would be a commission to be had if she sold the house to them. "But it's a perfect family home, isn't it?" It's expensive, and it'll need a lot of work." "But I told you, I want to invest Grandma's inheritance," whispered Rowan. "I know it'll still be a struggle for a while, but I'm sure my jewellery designs will sell for more money in London, and you said you'd have a lot of extra work if we moved here." "I know." Tom's forehead furrowed in thought. "If you're sure about your grandma's money, and we stick to our limit at the auction, then perhaps—"
"Perhaps we can."
Tom smiled. "Perhaps we should give it a go." Chapter 2. Tom's sister Libby lay prone on her double bed, resting her chin on her cupped palms while staring at the screen of her laptop. She'd arrived back from work 10 minutes earlier, having spent a boring day trying to avoid her bad-tempered boss at the flower shop. She glanced at the alarm clock on her bedside table. David wouldn't be home for another half an hour, so she had time to fan out a plastic rainbow of multicoloured credit cards on the pillow in front of her. She typed in the account number from her...